final. Injuries always on the tip of everyone's tongue. First of all, Mika, he's been a great player for you guys on the ball this year. He missed out with a finger injury at the weekend. Where's he stand?
Yeah, he hurt his hand obviously the week before, but yeah, at this stage probably 50-50. So you'll find out a bit later in the week. He's going to train tomorrow night and see how he goes.
Well, he's been an important part. He's probably one of the most improved players in the competition.
Yep.
And that's probably an area that you certainly just lacked that little bit of bite at the weekend, and certainly missed him. It'd be great to have him back. Yeah,
it would be. Yeah, he wins a lot of contested footy and just gives us a lot of grunt out of the midfield. But yeah, if he doesn't get up, we've got guys that can cover him as well.
Yeah, what about yourself? A couple of weeks ago, a little bit of conjecture whether you'd play or not. You certainly haven't missed a beat since then, and I don't expect you to miss out on this opportunity either as a grand final at stake.
Yeah, definitely, mate. No, the body's good. Yeah, so I'll be 100% starter this week. So.
Shane, injury-wise, I think it looked like you got out of it okay at the weekend. Although a lot of the players, some of the players said it was the ground was a little bit hard, but we've got we've left the rain behind us. But what can you tell us about Jake Edwards? He was walking around at the weekend. It didn't look to have any issues doing that, but playing's another thing. What can you tell us about?
Oh, honestly, mate, I don't know. You'd have to ask Heath.
Well, you're here. What can you tell us?
No, can't tell you nothing.
He'd be a great asset though, wouldn't he, to have back in the team? Obviously the experience at this time of the year, one game away from a grand final and 2 wins away from a 3rd premiership in 4 years, and obviously he'd be one that you'd be pretty keen to get back, stating the obvious.
Yeah, we've won without him, so hopefully we can do it again.
Shane, Steve Kennedy was huge on the weekend, probably almost the difference between the two sides. He's really been in good form the last couple of weeks. What do you think the difference has been over the last month or so for Steve? Oh,
he's 100% fit. Simple as that. He's had some niggles and he's right to go.
And obviously, you guys have played on this ground here a couple of times throughout the year. What are you expecting here on the weekend?
Wet.
At City Oval.
Yep, wet, cold.
Yep.
Doesn't matter.
Shane, obviously with you and Melton enjoying wins in round 18, to have that good confidence boosting win heading into finals, I imagine that would have just given you a great preparation for the pressure you sort of face, and it's probably no surprise that we've seen you guys have 2 big wins across the finals. How did you find that win in round 18, particularly against East Point, to prepare you for this weekend's game?
Yeah, good preparation. Our guys have obviously been in some big games in the last few years, so they hold no fears this time of year. It's what we aim for.
Paul, just on that as well, the round 18 loss, how much will that come into it mentally for you guys, this weekend?
Look, yeah, it's a loss that probably we didn't want to have. But yeah, we got Darley earlier on the year by, I think it was about 30 odd points. So we had about 5 out of our best 22 out of that side, which they're all back and fit. So it'll be a fairly different lineup this weekend.
And Shane mentioned the weather there. Yeah, it's going to be pretty different to what's been during the week. Yep. Are you expecting that to play a factor at all?
Look, you just sort of can't help the conditions, so you just got to come mentally prepared just to play. Just to play whether it's rain or dry. So,
Paul, the circumstances changed a lot this week. Up to this point during the season, you've been on a great ride, nothing to lose almost as the season's built. You've finished on top. The last 2 games you've had that second chance. Now that's gone, and it's all on the line now. Obviously, it's a different type of pressure that you'll be facing.
Yeah, it will be. Obviously no double chance now, so it's just got to go out and leave it all out there on Saturday.
Do you think that'll help? Well, you've got a young team, come together really well this year. How well equipped are you for that, cutthroat type of atmosphere that you're going to run into? Because they'll be thinking about, the whole season in a sense is at stake here.
Yeah, you probably don't try and dwell on that too much. Obviously, we showed a lot of grit against North City. 42 points down late in the 3rd quarter to come back and win that. So yeah, mentally we're strong enough. It's just putting it all together.
Shane, he's been used in a few different positions and looks to have been, the hammy's been a slight issue for the last couple of weeks. Where are you expecting him to play on the weekend?
Wherever we need him. He's a genuine utility. So he'll play where we need him. If it's on ball, half back in the forward line, he's a pretty good player to have.
And he's been playing, as you said, at the weekend he played that utility role. He finished up on the half-back line. The faith that has built within that back group the weekend, you could see with intercept marks, just the confidence that's grown and grown among that group, and then the ability from there to get forward of the ball and springboard. you've seen a big change in that in the second half of the season, and that must give the team a lot of confidence and faith in the structure.
Yes.
So how important is that?
Give us a bit more than that.
How important has that been? Because, as I say, a lot of confidence and just the fact that in each other, and that's just grown throughout the whole team, hasn't it?
Correct.
All right, Paul, just a question as far as your midfield goes, a lot of strength there and probably a little bit down. It's going to be very important that they're really on the mark, because you've shown in 2 weeks you've come from behind, and the second time you didn't. You can't afford to get behind again in a game like this. No,
definitely not. Credit to Melton, they played really well. Our effort was there, we probably just not, our execution was a little bit down, so we've addressed that last night and again tomorrow night at training.
What's been the message from Jake since the game at the weekend?
We get a chance to play off to play in the grand final this weekend. So yeah, the mindset changed pretty quick from the loss. Obviously, it's very disappointing, but yeah, we get another crack at it.
Any particular areas that you believe you need to focus on, or just across the board?
Probably just across the board.
And those type of things.
Yeah, probably just across the board.
Anything that you're worried about in particular that you would have watched Darley at the weekend? Anything in particular that you know about their game that you're going to be really have to be on the ball?
Yeah, obviously Kennedy. And yeah, their backline set them up really well and get a lot of drive from their backline. So we've got a pretty potent forward line when we get going. So yeah, it'd be a fairly good matchup.
Shane, I was going to say, Shane, for yourself, what do you think you need to do to get your boys over the line? Or what do the boys need to do to get over the line this weekend?
We need to play with we've won 8 out of our last 9. We need to keep that form going. We're in good form. The key players are in good form. Keep that going.
Well, it's a pretty exciting time for the club. This time last year, you guys weren't playing finals at all. I guess the idea as a footy fan to have 2 teams that didn't make finals last year to play off in the grand final is pretty special. How have the younger players sort of adapted to this possibility that one more game, one more win could mean a spot in the grand final?
Yeah, I think we're really embracing it. Yeah, we've missed out a few seasons in a row, so just to get that opportunity, it's really good. Obviously, the Twos had a great win on the weekend. They've gone straight through, so the unders are play off for a spot as well on Saturday, so the club as a whole is going really well.
Shane, just the kicking on the weekend, 13-3, not something we see in local footy very often. What do you think was behind that, the accuracy of the kicks?
Oh, it's a lot of things. I guess where you're getting the ball inside your 50 is key, and having it in the right bloke's hands as well.
And on the other side of that, obviously you probably didn't create as many scoring opportunities as what you might have liked. What have we done to tackle that this weekend? Oh, look, the boys will, whatever confronts them, they'll deal with. You know, there's lots of different things are going to happen in the game, and the boys are ready.
Can I put one to both of you guys? And I'll start with you. From what games I've seen of you from this year, your speed has been one of your key factors as I've seen it in your success this year. With the advent, as Gray's forecast is, it's going to rain all day Saturday. Surprise, surprise, and not rain. Has Jake, and subsequently that's probably going to take a little bit of your speed away, which I think has been one of your edges. Has Jake tuned his training methods in any way this week or not?
Oh, we haven't really focused on the weather. Obviously the grounds hold up really well, so I don't think you lose your pace. It's probably a bit harder to handle the ball at times, so yeah, the way the grounds hold up, I don't think we'll lose too much of our run.
And you, Shane, would you be happy to see it rain or like this from the Darley's perspective?
It doesn't matter.